So the last time we talked about the environment and how that affects phenotype and how genes can be expressed. And we talked about big populations.
안나가서 되게 쇼게 감이 순간 나올라 코리우콜 시브로 environment. Then phenotypes do 타멘 두데 리제 카를라 수때베나디 스탑제 실로 당외들에 리제 ngwenam che atiparu de ani rigzela rigzeki kasore khari number ngwen da mengwe la ani damga chedangi jerimdi shiwi ba ani dithone kasore chokdu mi chokdu chembujigla giwado dang tor ke shebres.
So the next thing I want to kind of get to, or at least understand a little bit, is what's happening at an individual level.
다들 아주 슈고데 깨지 셰고야 디 가르스나 디 규림디 링부지요레 규림 링부디 나로게 규림 레레레 나로라 로 규림 계획 소소 레레레 나로라 아니 간데스 주버테기 예메 디 깨지 셰라디요레스.
And when I thought about this stuff, I kind of, it's weird because some of the most complex things are very simple questions.
단데 디콜 깨지 디콜 두 삼식 제비값라 캔사버레스 네 남주 내당 망보지 나로라 예 내주디 욕다 시우침부지네 지그 콜직 세주 제비값 지버디 아니 라투 시우지다 지버 규모 시우지 나 밥인고요레스.
And the major question I had is, as I look at certain things, I often ask, why?
지버디 페나 내주 간데르부지라 따게 유나 따베값라 지그 더 당보데 저거 커야 되라 근데 가르치는 연구요레스 지버디레스.
So have you guys ever, I thought about this one scenario, but we'll get to it in just a second. But have you ever seen a guy who can cook really well? And have you ever seen a guy who can cook really well, who has a son? Do you expect the son to be able to cook really well?
남바스 가서래 단다 미세 나올라 된데기 영화 좋은 요에스. 맞아 야고 쉬우치 할래야 믹스에기 술도 된게 lạc 요게 샬라 소야 lạc 야고 요게 맞는데 규유베스. 봐. 된데지 하고들 어레레 하고들 디부 계속 보고 예배 있는다. 디부 예배 있는 보고 대한 되는 신차야라 아니 레바체 초래 조금 말했어.
So you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when a guy can build really big things, do you think his son will be able to do the same thing?
되는 신야 지금 죽준다고 생겼는데 지금 써야 되는데 지금 소준다고 친구들한테 생겼는데 이나 빨라도 소준 책에 캐버지이나 디부대 양디 되는 시즌에 소준 글라제 다가랑 콜파 규제 제도야 레바체 속으로 베스. They can hope.
So, have you ever heard of Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnold Schwarzenegger 킹기베. Arnold. Oh, Arnold. Yes.
You know?
Like this, mine?
Yeah. Stupid bit.
Yes.
So, he has a son.
Arnold la puji요레스. Arnold 하고요. 무무 타게제 톱심부도와. 나의 하고요.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has a son. What do you expect the son to look like?
To look like?
Yeah.
What do you?
What do you expect the son to look like?
그거는 보고지요레스. 딱 보고디 침부차나 침부차나서 계속 말씀. 보고디 간대지 요구 그래. 그 낭수 간대지 연구 그래서니 가리코고도 셈나고 그 간대지 보고디 간대지 낭 그래서니. 나 관나시지. They will like to see him as muscular.
This seem right?
That's his son?
Yeah.
Oh, the Arnold is.
This is Arnold. That's his son.
The Kongi Buddhist. Oh.
So, the question that I think about when I see this father, he knows how to cook. His son can cook as well, right? Well, his son is learning, I guess, how to cook, right? But we think at the end of the day, his son will definitely know how to cook.
그런 데이터 있는데 정말 당보대 빨라 맞은 개와 쉬우지기 인간직 빨라지요레스. 그거는 부지요레. 그래서 그런 게 집바들 부대 맞은 시간 랍기요레스. 안 맞은 시간 랍기에서 도신 규림 바 대비나 아니 뒤지지라 부대에 그렇게 야구차야 이런 거 저러시그레스.
This father can build things really well. We think at some point this kid should be able to do the same thing.
pala deji ang sudun kheba den res rajik soya den kheba de inza khorang gi bule chongda chigi yores is those thing during debi na ani pudi jima yang salon ji pala de chibo chaya ngam rache chogres.
And we think because we know Arnold Schwarzenegger is very big, his son does the same thing.
Jene ngaju singi yore Arnold jidan chembu che ani karsa the suktop the chembu ta masal jen shu chembu yores dene shi pude dene shi chaya ngam rache chigre was.
But the question that comes to me immediately is this because of genetics or something else?
Isn't today nedu migi dusala one khona thona yorbas thona yeb kabla ani samantang di kharjeni shungbare dende shungya di rigze grebe kharrebe rigze gi gensen shungbare dela shembe chajing shungbare. They are already answering saying that they don't think this is genetics, this is because of the environment they are in.
So this is because of environment.
They call you
So, if we think it's because of environment, talk to the people around you just for 1 second. What do you mean by environment?
근데 이나스 넘어서 배때 댕소 심배도는 코리오 기행그레 소소스. 코리오 가게 이면 누구 쪽 소사레스. 넘어서. 딱 저그레스. 저도지나스 코리오 가게 이면 누구 쪽에 답시 제셔스. 저도나로나 코리오 가르레스. 코리오 날 가르가르 되고래. 가리 코리오 말에 가리 코리오 예신이 저도나로나스. Maybe. Hola sauce.
All right, so let's start to write some of these things down.
당어도 되긴다스. 남아서 코리오 가와 문제 지기도. 어디 딱인다스.
So, somebody raise your hand. What do you mean by environment?
차 장로차.
랑기 니코르 베로하게 오버탐제 랑기 쿠리차고 그랬어.
Everything that is surrounding you. Everything, right? Things that are surrounding you.
Can we be more specific? A couple of specifics?
세부지 랍다스.
단다디 코리오 건조지원에로게 저데 고란조 발라드 코리유지 차고요레스.
In this scenario, the father is part of the environment.
단다델 너수스다 모버친두스 다 카게 증거서마이나 베나 바바가 지는마 너수지 테네 에니 콜야 카스. 아니 단데 안조안로가 지조지 데레스.
바베큐니
바비기
슈게테.
너수지라. 바비기 너수텔 테네 에니 콜야 안조안친로 예레스. 데마임바 양 코로게 데 바바 코로 데사게 양 사자이다 코로게 데 내단주라. 도서 모망도 도서 칼라 상행이나 칼라 상행 모버주라. 도서 레테바 안조안친로 조레스.
In this case, in the case of the chef, the influence is coming directly from the father, so the father could be part of the environment, as well as people who are enjoying his food, that could be part of the environment because they are receiving influence from that.
So, the parents' teaching is part of the environment.
빨라게 랍기 열와 랍기 열부 다가랑 코리우 차시를 베스.
Okay.
좋아? Oh yeah. Yeah, the father teaching is part of the environment.
Okay. What about this?
다 알노드 차잖아. 아니 코리우 가기 바스. 라. 장야디. His 카리스 라비아디 장야디. 라. 다 인다 누구다. They are taking training in building physics. Physics is environment. 심바?
난 거리를 해서 외바다 가석지어라. 이면치서로 되게
공기 난게 코리오 주스다. He is pointing to inner environment in the sense of his interest, aspiration. Those are also part of environment. Inner environment.
So, his inner environment, his interest.
Yeah. 나로기 코란 라토난 저와 토난다 메바치 저와 어디 거기 아니 코리오레스. 난기 코리오 샤시레스.
이렇게 단다 코이세조라. 찌토니 코이세데 고조 공도 코로 가을내요네. 코로를 쉬이 내서 초마데.즈본노로 이나 리시로이나 초마 코로 내서 쉬이 초마데 코일 쯔초사.
코란 내수 중사.
내서 코로
내수.
내서 주.
어레레.
뒤쪽도 양인 잠.
어레레.
초마 코로 코이 쳐야 돼.
all the information that he's getting, all the information. All the information that he's getting, yeah, all the information that he's getting, be that from in, from out, those are all part of his charging. Oh yeah, netu charging. Oh yeah.
Okay, so do we think at this point it's 100% environment?
Pardon?
Do we think it's 100% of all environment?
So
Everything is.
Are there other
Are
factors
there other factors or is it all environment?
that cause these sons to be good at what they're doing? Is it specifically only the environment, or there might be genes, or there might be
Oh, I
other
see,
things?
I see. Okay. That is the pala gyune pula shujin step do. The shujin tebe de shujin tebe ni chongda step wa. The tebe de yong su zoba koyu kone kengire bes. Mare. Ja number koyu sam gire bes. 100% not just environment.
Not 100%.
Yeah, not 100% environment. So, yeah, they say even genetics play a role.
Genetics play a role.
Right, Rizegi chashi lingi oris.
Small role or big role?
Rizegi chashi di nedan de wala kuryu ta tuina chijung nyambarbe chungarbe cherbe kharis. Chungarbe. Comparably smaller than the environment.
Okay, so environment more, genes less. Okay.
내단 내대 와라 코리우디 가자 휴전 채와. 리제 휴전 총원 임바. 오야. 다 담자들다.
Awesome. All right, cool. So let's talk about something else. I want to ask you, who loves basketball?
Awesome 송송 야부 쇼쇼스사. 다이나 지와 심바 지야. 남아서 나오는 실볼 스그와. 바스켓볼 가우스 예스. 계속 라고 마냥 가장긴다. Basketball? Yes, they like.
2, 3.
Oh yeah. They.
Who loves football?
강제 볼로. 강이. Oh.
Okay. Who loves baseball?
Ah, baseball they may not know.
Cricket.
Baseball.
Cricket.
Cricket 마인게. Oh yeah, cricket. Cuba demo. Oh yeah, cricket.
Okay. So
It's so interesting. I fall in all the three groups.
you're in all three?
Yeah.
Cool. Me, I love basketball. I love football a little bit, right? I'm not good. And then, I don't know how to play cricket.
But baseball,
Yeah, baseball.
that counts.
Cool. So I want to introduce you to this thought that I had, right? So we looked at these three scenarios, but I want to introduce a new scenario.
Mm-hmm. You want to introduce?
I want to introduce a new problem.
That under the netan azu dus kanga nyam sunyo yimba, nyam jo shaya yimba. Netan di nyam jo shaya yimba. That netan di mainge netan shabachi. Tungis.
So, does anybody know who this is?
Di meet sure hagu yue. Di ngai shemaso.
No clue? Okay, cool.
Di ming shingmi do.
I want to show you a video.
Yeah, they don't know. That karsa language tengis.
Dave Collins opting for offense.
And Doug Christie taking advantage of that. He's been more offensive-minded for this group this year and goes right to the baseline.
Here's Curry. Nice feed from Muggsy Bogues. You want to see what Muggsy gives this offense? I give you evidence.
A little flashback there. Curry darting down the lane.
Or never wrong in an instance.
All right, so we paid attention to this guy.
The bank shot. Heck of the jump shots, Dell. Just working close.
Rarely do you see Del Curry down there, but Kevin McHale like.
Benjamin inside, ball batted away by Mason. He gets hit in the eye by Benjamin the other way and pays for it. Curry finishes on the 2-on-1 fast break. Del Curry with 6.
Williams.
Here's Dell, tries out a 3 from the corner. Yes! Del Curry drops his first 3 in the bucket for the season. He had 160. Debut of Hornets hardball. The pass from Divac to Curry for 2. He's got 11 and leads the Hornets in scoring.
That's good.
56-55. Williams with 6 points on the night, equaling his output last night against New York. Divac didn't realize how clear he had it. He sends it down for a
That's good
triple.
stuff. I like this guy.
And there's a 3-pointer
So-
for Harris Teeter. Good movement that time.
This guy is named Del Curry.
Del Curry. Kong Sela Del Curry is. Curry.
And he is I'll let it play, but he's a famous basketball player who played for a really long time.
Kong the silver taking Kera Chimbuchi, Himbasam the Masi, do you remove usually Zebris?
He was really good at shooting the ball from far distance.
Tarimoni Luel, Pemisi, Mixeki, Ankoran, Cabajuris.
When he left his team, he led them in scoring and in three-point shots.
When he led.
Three-point shots are the ones from the far.
But when he left?
So when he retired, he was the top in his team.
Oh, I see. Kong Shugo, any Temodine, Gayon Timberwa, Gayon Robert Cup, Netan Chashavina, on the Taringbone, you had Angisum Ragdoa, Taringuna, or this Raya Angisum Yunasdoa, Dela Korangi, Carso Rugua Karanalone, Deputy rest.
Okay, awesome. So he's a really good basketball player.
Silver taking Cabachuch race.
Now, do you know this guy?
Dishingi. Kusho Karire. It's Kusho Kari.
This is Curry, right?
Yes, Kari.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Everybody know Steph Curry?
Ming Chazan Shingi Kari. Steph Curry. Yes, Steph Curry.
Steph Curry?
Stephen Curry.
Is his son.
Oh. Kongi Purisha. And the Steph Curry. Yawashi Kong. The Kongi Purisa. That is game was at the Sangya house.
He not only had one son that can play in the NBA.
Kon la Pugu NBA is not the Ari Geongi Silbo Tendekanderwa, Tenderwa. Didn't only taking Puchik some Maris.
He has two sons.
When you were Jayoris, you got to give. And they both play.
Both play.
You got under the Ari Geong Silbo Tenden on the Tegoris.
This is Steph Curry.
This Steph Curry.
And this is Seth Curry.
This is what?
Seth Curry.
Seth Curry. Check this Steph Curry. Nibble Seth Curry.
Have you never seen him?
Come on, you.
Nobody knows him?
No. Come on, you.
So, he's a more famous basketball player, and he's better.
Yeah, Kongi Nano Kong get a chair. And some way Yagayorsa.
So, not only did Del Curry have Seth Curry, but also Steph and Seth Curry, right? His mother is also an athlete. Steph, their mother also plays sports.
Jenny Kunini Baladi and it's simple cabache. Jenny Buniga, simple cabaing, but the Mase. Kunini Amade, what is she good at?
Volleyball.
Oh, volleyball. Lagbol, she cavayaris.
And she had a daughter.
She has
a daughter.
She has. Mole Pomosioris.
And guess what she's good at?
And Pomodi Karela Yaboyoris. Volleyball. Lagbol Yaboyoris.
So, I've seen this. I saw Del Curry. He's good at shooting long shots. Steph Curry, good at shooting long shots. Seth Curry, who you don't know, can also shoot long shots.
When you are the Seth Curry,
And this isn't the only time I've seen this. I love American football. So there are 3 quarterbacks.
That's
The father and both sons can play American football very well.
어떤 볼에 시라 때 캐버요레스.
This is Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning said this.
And his father was a good football player.
He's the one in the middle.
Yeah, so this is his father
And that's
and him. This is him in the middle.
Oh, takže 여기 parte di nangi kima derisha. Koran di 어떤 볼에 캐버세 안 발라야 호요레스.
So this happens a lot where, well, actually it doesn't happen that often, but sometimes we see these traits or these abilities run in a family.
근데 내단디 갈라가즘 통하여레스. 하장 편집부 통하여 달라 두고 말이스. 갈라가즘 통하여레스. 근데 내단 나올라 발라다 아말라 요약이 계시죠라. 계시데 안에 부글바 규제셔버든데 통하여레스.
So I want you to talk in groups. Is this a coincidence? It just happens? Or is there something linked between them?
제니 남아서 디테일한데 두두 나로나스 내단데주 가서 미월 주네. 냠월 주네. 두두 나야디 근데 중요하디 다가 대왕이 중벌이 베스. 와 대왕이 중벌이 왜 야나 디니 버룰라 데타지 요르베스. 와 델타지 요르 델타지는 델타 가르레스 문제 제레스. 어디 두두 나로나스.
Because it doesn't always happen.
그래서 네 가두이네 내단 강가라 다가라 중앙에 봐요 말이스. 이 중요하디 망어다 용인이 제나 용아요레스.
Does anybody know who this is?
This is 신기해서. No, this is not Kevin Durant. This is not Kevin Durant. I'm trying to show off.
You don't know him.
This is 신기해. Oh, it's you.
Do you know who this is?
Yes, this 신기해. So this. Oh, Jordan. Yes, Jordan.
This is his son.
Oh, the Michael Jordan che. The Michael Jordan ke puresa. What is his name? What is his name? Okay. Some Jordan.
And this is him with both of his sons.
Oh, the Michael Jordan che korang ke punyi deres.
But they don't play great basketball.
Pala di dene yabo yoro kera simu shuru wa. Punyi di dene ran tse singi maris.
So the question is it more so because of a possibility of a gene link? Is there something that may be similar between the fathers and the sons? Or, as you talked about before, is it just all environment? It seems like it seems just too much, how can I say? It seems like there's too strong of a link between that family and between the father and his sons for it to just be environment.
Oh, I see. 제니 내단 내도 왔어. 와 내단 내요. 그래서 가실 중원다 가실 뭐 중원 내요. 티 가르진 레스타 티 바로 내다지 거래 파만다 부니 바로 내다지 유업체는 내다데 하장기 담부 쉬우체니 아니 고유기 휴겐라 때나 되게 내다데 다동 대외장 개체부 이야기 내다지 용초설에 삼야지 누때는 내 용해서 주어레스. 근데 레베 양딱 자주 자담바 거기 지고 뜸버베 지 종다 대단다 보던데 쇤베 거기 자주 자담바 될라 레베 양 팀에 비치니 종다 간주 재밀라마 되베 디니 버루라 지 데이터다 지 미니고 아니 가서래 뒤대지긴기 타버라 지 상무다 마상원이 괜찮이디 내가 침부 쉬우지 터네 아니 이 중모다 뭐 좀 연구하러 했어.
So considering this new situation, thinking about the new situation.
다단다디 내단 사월에 당기 내단 그거 찍봐 이봐. 발라다 부다 파마다 찍고 차송아. 다디 민다 차송아. 어디 내단 사월에.
And the new information.
Pardon?
The new information.
제니 차진 사와.
So think about in groups. Talk about. Is it really only, well, which one is it more? Is it more environment or is it something happening at the genetic level?
젠다디 내단 사와지 그 어디 제빈 내단 사와디 토네 다 삼당 당사기 시 사와지 레버리스. 이제 근데 내주디 키오네 안 당기 내단다 디 내단다 강한 냠도라 some time between the young young Mayoni even on the young the Karji Yungi or Koru Jajatam Koru Chigo, Koru email Madeba, Pamane Bula Pa Judu Chiagi, Young Jatachi, Sang Tone Reve, Dini Durna, and Kagi Manga, Kagi Chever, Kagi Shuchever, Chumari Oti, some downloads. You want them to discuss? Jenny was now busy to do Naronas. Kari Chungi Yores.
Nice read by Seth Curry. He's going to pull up for three. He'll take that.
Racing down the edge. Swings it to Zach. Inside to Myers. Catch. Redirects Seth in the air. A three. Got it! Oh, sensational play by the Blazers in transition to take a lead of 6.
Building on the side of the Blazers.
It's shifting. Blazers by 6 with possession. Seth outside a deep 3. Let it fly!
Seth Curry.
Sends in an arrow. Seth Curry, younger brother.
This one is deeper than Crater Lake.
On the fly. 3 defenders in the paint. Sidesteps his brother and scores! Seth Curry with another triple.
So, what did you come up with?
Teaching numbers to do non cartoon songs. Oh, yeah.
Rizich by a council ragi. Rizich by a council. And then the Yabuchang so Rize Yanzo Chaso Babagi Rize Samadi Mangi to Bayores. And the book has a Yabomachangi in the Penabu Riboyabom and Juchibaling. The Sola Rize Yuba Council Rize de Nimutua Reski. Thinking to Mutu say that Lewan Alta arrest.
He says yes. In both the cases, the offsprings receive the same genetic information from their parents, and when someone gets good, someone gets not, it's because whether or not that same gene that was expressed in the father is expressed in the child or not. But now the question is, what makes some gene, though they have, doesn't express? It's because of karma.
You say karma?
Yes.
So hold on just a second. Are Seth and Steph, are the 2 Curry sons, you said they have the same genes because they have the same parents? Do they have the same genes?
Penetration dangi Steve Curry da Seth Curry jiwa. Queen Chashabina, Queen Ying Netandi, Pala ki Pamachig inza, Queen Yilan Jin Chibayers Labes. Yeah, they said that their offsprings have the same genes.
Well, if they were the same genes, they'd be identical twins.
Kesi Queen Jin Chibuchiana, Queen Karichagre, Sama Kongachili gave it Samachagre. Sama Ni or Kongachili gave it the Mindel giving Rua, Kongachili gave it Samachagre. The China Shine.
But they have a sister with the same mother and father. They have a sister and a brother, so they can't all have exactly the same genes.
Then she Queen any identical twins at the Maris, Kongachili gave it some of the Maris. Then I see Queen Ajaja Yoris, and this Ungala Rigzegi Juja, Jachan Chibuji Yoris.
So, what do they have the same genes?
Gene Chibares. La. Yeah, most of the gene pool is same.
Okay.
Most of the gene that they have received is same. Not
Okay, most of the same, but what if one of the genes that makes you a better shooter is different?
Pardon?
What if most of the genes are the same, like you said, but
Yes.
one of the genes or 2 of the genes that makes you a better shooter are different in Steph and Seth?
Yeah. That Rigze Kanga Chibuji Mares Lapsadu, that in a Dinalola, Ani Kasore. Rigze Chan Kaza Chiba Meza, Mancham Chibares, Kaza Chiba Mares, Chiba Maya Rigze Tigi Kenchani, Chigla, Ani Yaku Chatubata, Chila Yaku Meza, Yaku Chamatu Cha, Yong Sigravas. They love the Grives. Yeah, that wouldn't be enough of an explanation. Of course, they could differ in gene composition, and because of that difference, it could make the difference between the 2. but that cannot be the whole story in how they turn out.
Okay, so the other piece is, so should we add karma to being part of the environment?
Karma ki yon ba le ki yon ba le ki yon ina koryu nang lo la le chu res. Koryu nang lo le chu re chu ma res. Mar kan ge le gi kyen yor la ba. Kyen ne le di koryu nang chu so re. Ani khar re.
저거 코로 레세 코로 기마 렌 레와 간에 차르선 코로 니만이 기 레기 레오 드니지 주야기 레시 니만 싸고 그랬대.
Right. This is the tanda koryu ma res. It cannot be included in the karma. The karma cannot be included in the present environment because karma is something that they would have already accumulated in the past that is giving rise to the result now.
So would that be genes? Because genes are things that accumulated in the past.
Kijana lady gene chasos, rigze chasos, rigze rebes. Go. Then is na rigze, lady rigze chasos. Because rigze de yang kaptu daga yobe de mare. Nga sansan ni yoris. Jiji yor.
Baba sani ma rigze di pena chiri rigze mangcha pro. Baba to chibo chibo yo de le tu da. Chiri de chasos le tu munda. Le tu ba to mutu ase le koro le sani.
So rather, he's putting karma in the scenario in that among the two sons, one could receive that gene that makes a difference. Other fails in receiving it. And the reason behind that is, the reason that determines that is the karma of the individual that he has and the other doesn't have.
So one son has it, one son karma, one son.
One son's karma determines one son's karma determines specific karma determines he's receiving that gene from the father, the other lacking in that.
Okay, so outside of karma, we talked about genetics or environment. I need proof.
Karma di nega shas. Ta karma le shemba 먼저 자기인데 고려지다 아니 리그제스 깨지 셴바스 다 디니 거리 이민기 깨지 랑조 중국과 랑조 디다 다니 방다에 보여요스
랑조디 캄다니 거라 하루기 그 배준 축정부 첨부지 개발했어 근데 권이 야고차 김제 가라나게 니 빨라디 아니 쯤은 깨라 첨부시 작전 첨부 디난싱 하나 차고도 대차월라 미 심발링아 담마지 칼리 자고두스 라 심발나 가르는 딱 가야 발라 깨라 첨부르다가 딘 칼리 디스 마르스 딘 kunyi jiritha bares.
Yeah. Partly he's saying that the role that is being played out here is maybe individual strength of willpower, individual strength of interest, individual strength of what they want to become. So that's what may be making the difference besides the external environment being same, right? The internal lack of presence or lack thereof of this kind of inspiration.
But there is a difference between desire and ability.
Inayang sem nalo ne ngundu dinde yebata rewa dinde yebata semshu dinde yeba chogres. Di chungmata ngusu dinde chetube ani di porul ke bayores. Right?
So it's different. What attributes?
I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of young men, millions of young men want to be in the NBA, but only a few hundred make it.
Penetration NBA stane arigi geyong sibu zende nanglola ani shugde yoken lemde yoken den nanglo chashe lende yoken saimo bu yugires. Rewa kha bezu chigres. Ja skorjigen di tugres.
And many of them work and spend their whole life and they never make it. Most of them never make it. Just like to be a geshe, many people might want to be a geshe. Work, some people, but still only a few can make it. So that's what we're saying. There's a difference between a desire and ability.
Re semge to ne ngundu le yebata rewata semshuta ne karso tonanda de ye chogre de yeba shishane bezu chebe ondo tane tumde diteme ngeba yomanis saya mo bunalone dende yonge une rewa khawana si tonda tubke pe nyunyures ngana de pe shabine 기시 샤야다 기시 삐다치다 잼삐지 제야 내가 영감 모르겠어. 이래데 당부 슈디로 와. 슈고 갈리 시디 아니 뉴 친 아니 뉴네 나로네 니 삐게데 수수기 내가 이번에 신 영어야 내가 예만 와.
산다 아니 코질라라 아니 파제 부응은 거란 되바여 메지로 디간라니 잠바가르고 둘라나 파와기 오늘 파 롭스트야지로 롭스 충중이야 롭스트야지 아니 디단 저와 치우치무도 롭스트야더라 아니 거란
He's making a point here on the basis of what the Venerable said in terms of internal desire, inspiration, motivation needed. On top of that, then it should meet with an external condition of the father giving attention and taking time in training. And he has some other idea.
강인선은 배나 부지버지주니는 바바기 콜러 아니 야 춘주군인 살로줘야도 라소제 지버지주 때바이나 지도 야보 차고야 돼 지도 야보만 차야 돼 코니 리지 차반로 세라기 리지 차반로야 돼 코니 리지마 레양기 니버지버지주 인바이나야 리진 레비 갑기 코유지여라기 rinze lekogin khoyegi chetene chidigi ane rinze pawasani rinze yad sonle thubada shimbadigi ane pawasani rinze yad sonle muthuade so rinze le because khoyegi shikchimbo chete te yakshete isares
He thinks that there is a critical period scenario playing out. He's saying that the period during which you receive the gene in the two, that's where one may be lucky in having the environment right. The other just lacking that in that critical time of receiving the gene. That's what would then play out in making the difference.
Yeah, this idea of time is important. Not just which genes you get, but when you get the training, right? When you're exposed to the training. So, for example, you'll never become a great basketball player if you never see a basketball. A simple thing like that. And if you start earlier, you're more likely to become a great basketball player, but not necessarily, right? So timing, this whole idea about timing at all the different points of the story is very important.
Chenda kongen tuzuki nesudia lengsonga tuzu takta la kheadi te shune nga chemores tuzu takta khe ba ge se nga chemore pena symbol jengen de na symbol ya symbol juni zebe jun thongma yong ge gangsa ji ge symbol ya cha ya ro ja kha bo res dane symbol ni ya me ba yob che ni de yang ani chongda che ya ge tuzu di khazu ringa yen de su ge yang ya bo cha ge ni kha so re somda ro di che yo res ne yang kha ba yo ma res 어떤 전에 뒤즈 링동 뒤즈 라바 있나 라바데 나로 링동 가서 라마라 야나 뒤즈 자와나 마라바 라디리 따야기 냠스 뇨야기 고곡균을 맞으면 된대 이렇게 괜찮니 뒤즈기 사진이 돈에 아니 개발 US 지금 요레스.
So I have this other question. I see you. I have this other question. So if his father could not shoot a basketball, and he trained hours, learning how to shoot basketball. If he did that, right? If Del Curry trained for hours, learning how to shoot, practice in the gym over and over again, right? Did that have any effect on his genes? And then what he passed on to his sons?
什么要不是电脑机头都要不起来有啊？现在你可能就是我们把这的生活在有开发有的是，因为可能个把那的生活在没用的，那在没现的，那是按照当那是吧？但是移民了嘛，对可能个你别做出生不现的，就是见的，就是见的，长但呢，第一长被决定给拿了，那可能个这个就不不的，你不了嘛就这些吧，但是人超过了别看的是，是吧？That cannot happen.
That cannot happen.
Yeah. Because Quran chang ni exist juba do asi lain ba. Je an di ani bugul ba judu che ba. Di chong mare. That they are divided. He's saying that cannot happen. He's saying
who says it cannot happen?
Today 영구 말에 생애 소리. 직제, 니제, 솜시제, nga제, tuk제.
Who says it can happen?
Then 용글에 쓰게. They outnumber them.
Who says, I don't know? Okay. For the people who says it can happen, where are you again?
Yeah, there. 여기 용초글에 있어야지 와. 용초글에 있을 뭐 봐.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me see. Tell me why.
용초글에 있어. 용초당 가르치는. 어려워. 근데 릭제 가르친 유아심을 했어. 릭제 유아도 안 됐다. 빨라 매네 코랑 베즈체니 콜 릭제 유아치 릭제 디포글 테블 라브라 디초글 라브라 어디 릭제 한테 유아심을 했어.
Pelana nga chona pala ina ka ina ya tuksa rizit chigni ma gyong ro on ti gyong di khorang rizit ya tuksona changsan yo chini yo are ma to pala yo che ko rizit ya chi da ni jamba de rizit do chi lokso yo mares
당할라야 하고 잤어. 라, 지시오 쉬어. No, yeah. Oh, yeah. So they say that in terms of the presence of genes, and that could be traced back a long time ago. That's what he's saying, because basically we have descended from long time ago, and that means passing of our genes along the line. But what makes the difference is what genes are expressed or not. So in the case of this scenario, given that, assuming that his father didn't do as well, but he, because of his efforts, that could have affected the chemical composition within, and that could then affect certain genes in terms of making them express, which may not have expressed in the early on, and then when it got expressed, it got kind of what you call activated. Then that may have been passed down to his offspring in that state.
Awesome. Okay. So the people who say that not possible, where are you?
All
right. So this is why you said this is why it can happen, because of gene expression changes. A gene expression, so a gene can be expressed or turned on or turned off, right? And then that is remembered and then passed on.
제니 공수에다 코나니 수에디 수 너무 영미나 릭제 예바 간실라 릭제디 간조 로로 지마존에 파르바타 7 이내다 용초그레스 이제 파르디 이내수 치디 코 릭제디 응은토 버와 나방은토 버와 나방은 샤베 릭제티 아니 템베냐니 주제제 아니 부디라 아니 응응케기 릭제디 응응케기 릭제기 남발라 주제제 아니 로양 초그레스 디스겨레스 로와 데르주라
Okay. So now I want to hear the other side.
다시 당아주디 되죠 심바디 얘기스.
녜삼바 카르라나 단다디 코도이나 다밍디 싱미라 타랑분이 루야시도. 어디피 케바여스 코나 부디에 타랑분이가 야고 차레스기도. 디 릭지기 슈긴 킨네 마르상구더라. 코리그 슈긴다 코랑가 메종그 슈긴이 마도 릭지기 슈긴게로 아니 바바디 타랑분을 루야니 야고이나 부디니 디 릭지테니 릭지기 슈첨부 유가다 타랑부 쳇고 유안 저케요 마르상구더라. 데 던디 인디가나 간조 창말라니 타랑부 유가기 릭지디 여르세 거다 콘서시에다 나시체이나 간조 타랑부 릭지디 여르데 온디 키로 마르시 딘데요 마르상구도 다딩 오마 주고 잔로이나 코리우케니 코 슈겐치기 코 주고 잔 도바요아치 아니 디 코리우고 안게 코 릭지란 요아다 릭지긴 캬남 고 안게 아니 코 치기 주고 또 쳔부차다 보디 퇴한데 용거로 다디 니 실버기 타랑부 유아다 딘소에네 디 갸ን탁 파르게 체지다 디조 딱딱 녜토야도 소소 락바이나 딜레 장차 테토야디라 티실로 베존다 아니 코라 지 칼로리 랍닝 기타 팔라다 딘주 후킹기 레마도 티 릭젤 믹싱 교학엔 로고
나 수부 주에 데 릭제그레스 티마디 마레 사딘 케바체서 라 수부 주에 데 톨라 릭제 지버체 멤 타르 뭐 유야진 라 유에델 아니 릭제 마리스 so he's making this distinction the difference between how the offsprings turn out to be in what respect when we had the scenario of Arnold then the change was on the body and that would definitely have to come from involvement of genes. Of course, maybe with other conditions, whatnot, but basically it would have to come from genes being activated and made to express. But when it comes to throwing a ball, right, and training in those skills, that he doesn't seem to have been a case of gene expression. Rather, it is a case of dedication, training, dedication on the part of the parents, whatnot, in teaching, whatnot, but that and just making them more skillful, not in that effect goes into the gene.
Okay, so he's saying that the genes, so the genes are can be affected when it comes to the body, but as far as abilities are concerned, abilities are not passed on.
Yes. Congress whereasna, pena subuta denegi namju tendanda subu namju tendanda desu subu kore nalo je nalo ne rigje denegi tola ani 정다 간이 제비네 타면 뒤에 딜 주바로 탭제 니 용그레스 다디 멤버진이 전당들이 여러 봐 전당 로스야 케버 니 폴리티야 케버 어딘데 전당 그리디 그 정다 제부터 코리오다 네 돈 중벌에 마도 딘데기 정다 제비 디 주림 나로라 리젤레 폰주치 아니 리젤 돈에 아니 딘데 준부 차원데 마레스 라 Yes, that's what he's making the distinction.
Okay, so we are scientists.
Right?
And we know how to think about things in terms of how to get an answer to our question. With the people around you, I want you to design an experiment.
Jenny, Sosu Yen la Kamuna, Nani, Tanda, Netan Dila Pabe, Shimju Kandishimba, Shimju Gobach, Taji Gobach, Digashin, Tangudi, anybody, somebody, and Taji Gobadigoris.
That would help us to answer this question.
Then they Taji Gobad Digel D Juni, then Jurim D Den and Dudu, and Tande Netan Dilla, Ane Casore, Lens turned to be out. Tande Yongagi, Ane Gobaji Digashin, the Chowris.
Is it possible to pass those things on?
Jenny, thanking us, Pamane, Bugulapa, Jaya, Caso, Judu Jaya, Judu Jayadi, and Netan Nibudin alone, and Jidan and Jandare, Yana Karine, Karine, Pamane, Bugula Jay, Yungris, Pamane, Bugulapa, Judu Jay, Jandari, the Karine, Jicta, always, dries always.
Go.
Jenny, the Pamane, in the Bokaine, Mene, Pamane, Bula, Chitti is always. Queen took them do. Who did you take a they would do that you got. And I'm told a lot of time and tell you share what we do. Jenny, Pamane, Bula, you do this. Can you do it? You do it. To do Narunas. Number to do Narunas. You do chair your mother, you know, can this cigarette, carry cigarette. That's us.
All right, cool. So, did anybody come up with a good experiment? God bless.
나도 다자까지는 가르치는 대로 하게. 배나 이게 세보증이라기 깨도 닥친 그냥 샤라기 딘저기 보고 gas 냠도 룹 아니 세보 큐는 마징이라기 판마했다 딘저기 보고 gas 룹라기 코니라 종더 치부증엔 테라 테니 아니 개차라기 수마링도게 데 개차를 받는 가족이 안 쳐봐 제도들에서 렉지기 유동 지금도
So to determine whether there is a genetic transfer from the parents to the offsprings, and that makes this difference in making them spectacular, outstanding in those same skills, he would design an experiment where he would have two groups, one totally made of offsprings that have parents outstanding in those skills.
Okay.
And then another with no parental history, and put them through a totally same rigorous training, and then see if the ones who come from those parents outdo them in a significant percentage, and based on that we could say maybe the genetic transfer genes play a role or not.
Yeah, so that's a nice idea, right? Because
that's what
it's a nice idea. What we want to do as scientists is hold things constant and then keep as many things constant as we can, and then see if any changes occur. So you're trying to keep the environment constant with different genetic backgrounds. Keep the environment constant and see if we get a result. So that's a nice logical idea.
리과 야고치레스 가슴 세리 따지 나로라 카리코르슬나 따지 유버 가기 따지 제고 있는 유버디 용야기 따지 제베 내갑수 델레 셴베 차기엔 간가 아니 찍바 쇠 찍주선 야야디 컨센스르디 유메 찍바 소리 야야디 아니 다시 제고레스 단다 대샤샤비나 종당 지시디 컨센체 종당 지시들은 유버로 줄메브체 찍고 지jan테 다 개발지 가리요레스는 개발시바 개요 말에 파마 가네 주마 유 개발지 마도 심바 요 말레스 근데 개발지 실샤 개발지 샤 마도 심바 개발 주는 마 주부 토네 종다 되네 아니 개발지고 디 요겐데라 야 노야 다도 야가 요야 개발 연구도 문도 다야레스
아니 응어즈데라게 파마지라 부니요나라 다지야 저기 지야 마저기 차데라 다부 데니 아니 파마 파데도 아니 DNA 토네 다제도나라 제바 다태 제주 노문도 다지라 어떠니 전에니 저 노문도 다지
알레 so there he has a scenario where a parent may have two sons and they have been seen to do differently, and based on that they would put their DNA in test to get a DNA test and see if the composition is different. So yeah, just two sons of the same family.
Same family.
Yeah, who are the two sons who are doing different.
Yeah, maybe one is really good.
Yeah, other is not so
good.
good.
So
yeah.
look at their
Steph Curry.
Yeah, not Steph Curry and Steph Curry because there's not so much difference. Okay. Maybe someone else, maybe, right? So, and then test their DNA.
And test their DNA.
Yeah.
Ooh. Question. So, would the DNA show me a difference? Would there be a huge difference in their DNA?
Well, that's the experiment.
Yeah. So the experiment is there a huge difference in DNA? But what if the DNA is pretty similar, but they're very different?
DNA 따제 제네 하장기 개발 친분 이야기를 마치기 위해서. So no, not that they are expecting a big difference in the DNA, but they are expecting some difference, even if that may be very little, but some difference that could then point to the difference in the expression.
So my question is the DNA, to figure out if genes are being expressed or not expressed, is the DNA the right thing to test?
당주 운에 따야 가르다 거르스남나 rigze khari nguen rigze khari nguen jurdu mindu tayares ra rigze khari nguen jurdu chigde rigze khari nguen jurdu chigde khari nguen jurdu mindu tayares ti taya tunda la DNA tagan rosa di tagda ri yorves DNA tagan robina ani yos tene nye cosa chila chaga ru yorve ka ru yores.
Well, it could be. Could be useful, right? Because if you see that, then you might look at the RNA, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying if I were to look at gene expression changes, I wouldn't go straight for the DNA unless there was some type of mutation.
Right. So that's what they're looking for: alleles, different alleles that correspond to phenotype.
Yeah, but I probably would go to the RNA if I'm looking for gene expression changes.
Yeah, I mean, I would do both because you might see genetic differences and you might see expression differences. You might see expression differences in those genes, probably both. I mean, you might see differences in both.
Yeah.
Na kena nabani 공부시 당토스 민다도 공기소나 아니 DNA 도알 sabla RNA 루기스.
Well, sometimes.
공기사나 아니 DNA 타 RNA 니갈 타기스. 그래서 니게 나로라 지금 원 거리 원도 주유 메다 아니 나로게 차시 근데 창마산들 따서 요리스.
That was good.
야고도스. something 야고도스.
Is there one more?
양주식 삼세직 와야.
따지지할 게 나가 숨스 조시고도. 다들 데리셔. 근데 콘저 제 여조지라. 제 여조가 아주 파파 빨라 제 여조. 부제 여조지라. 도저 조직체. 바제 매버 간시나 부제 레도지라. 안데저 직체. 아니 바다 보고 니가 제 매조지 안데저 직체. 콘저 내지도 도로지체. 안데리 심조체. 안 간제장제자 안 고유도서 간제간제자 안된 마마마시 아니 DNA this 심지치죠. 담면 중제 간제도 다야르셨어.
He would rather have 3 groups to begin with.
3 groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 groups. One where both parents not both of the parents, but one where the parent as well as the offsprings are doing as well. Another where the parents may not be as good, but the offsprings may be doing well.
Okay.
And then the third where there's none. And then kind of have a thorough investigation into their backgrounds, into their environments, and as well as go deeper into their DNA makeups.
Okay. So one where the parents and the kids are both good.
Yeah, one or the other.
And one where either the parent or the kid is really good.
And then ones where neither.
And then neither are good. And you want to see if there's genetic changes.
Genetic changes as well as in the environments that they have been through.
Okay.
Expressions, etc.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like these. These are good experiments.
Oh, they are applications.
So I want to bring your thought to one more thing before we go. So we talked about genes and genes playing a big role in what happens in the next generation. We also talked about environment playing a big role. So, my father is a boxer.
He was?
Well. Very small, slender, thin. No. Now, he did teach me how to box. So, I like to fight. Not a lot. But when my mom was pregnant.
With you?
Yes, with me.
Amala Dumachen, Kong Ame Dum Karsore Nganal Yevakablas.
based on my father and my mother, who were both very small people,
광 발라다 아말라니가 충주레스. 충주제 가보.
I should have, based on them, I should have been a small person too.
코나니 내가 대비나 발라다 아말라니가 근데 인자 코에 충주 깜보지 인고가 차야죠레스.
But while my mom was pregnant with me,
아말라 녜라 콩 예베 갑라스.
she ate a lot of burgers.
아 아말라게 버거 쉬우시레스. 버거 킹이라. 발레 제 나로 샤다 데 잡지와.
So, my question, even I think about this, did her eating the burgers affect me at all?
삼삼들이 빨라 하면 된대. 나 가르친 전에 차비나 삼tam도 아니 너도 매번 삼지 가리고도 남나. 아메 두만 아메 녜나가 예배갈 아메 버거 쉬우사브디 나 전에 차면도 some time this.
Because sometimes we forget that part of your environment. Sometimes we forget part of your environment plays an important role when you're inside mom, when you're a fetus or an embryo. So your environment starts right after fertilization, right? So what Ernest is saying is there's a big impact on the environment inside his mother from the moment he was conceived.
그래서 가브링은 코리우골을 깨지 시인데 코리우기 돈에 휴게 대학이 아니 내단다부터 고속도로부터 ngato sene nganji pame kamkamani dübe düsuk tube negabne ani koryug shugen te gosu sares 이제 데네기 내당 돈에 아니 공 아니 매 ngena yube negabsu ani pame 가족의 검시 된다다 세주 된다다 데네 돈에 shugen te yu secrets and this 공기요레스.
This gets back to your point earlier about timing, about when things happen is really important. So the influence of the environment is important, but not only that, but when those environmental changes happen in relation to where you are in your life and your development is very important.
자기 공사직 나오는 뒤죽고 계시죠 봐. 뒤죽 내가 심보레스. 뒤죽 딱딱 캐마게 해야 돼. 내가 심보레스. 근데 인상 그 코리우 예배상 많이 봐. 코리우디 가두 예배다. 예배 내갑수 랑기 차베제하게 내갑 가두 이민다. 그래서 망부직 아니 가서 그래. 딱딱 캐마게다. 근데 돈에 아니 코리우 휴견디 제베 용그레스.
You want to show them? So we'll leave you with this, and we'll pick up with this a little bit this afternoon and tomorrow. These are two mice. These are identical twins.
네 지지니체 니부티 이베점도 마세 칩루레스. 칩루 이베점도 마세 공화지를 예베 칩루레스. 공화지 수도 간다 릭제기 유디오셔야지 찍빠치냐 라브라. 지금 셀라요 말에.
Same exact mother.
어레 니가 아마도 찍어봐. 니네 아마 찍어는 거 봐. 릭제 고라 공화지를 깨. 팔라 아마 니가 지금 찍지. 군인이 그 공화 공수 찍는 수 카지에 니 차버래. 당분에 니 예베 찍니 차버 말에.
Same father.
팔라 아마 니가 찍봐.
Same exact genes.
팔라 아마 니가 찍봐.
Same father, same exact genes.
야, 전 팔라 아마 니가 찍지 않지? 니가 나오기. 아니 릭제기 유튜브에 난 찍고 중그랬어.
So this afternoon we have two groups, right? One, the first group from 1 to 3:30, and then from 3:30 to 5, right? Two groups, yeah. And we'll meet in this room.
전에 인구 잡으려고 손이 전에 좀 해야지. 내 당부들이 저 당부편 이리와. 당부편 엔자님도 별로지나. 내 당부대 저 당부대 해야지. 아니 주고 소재 주고 좀 시간에 손님한테 해야지. 좀더 나가라니.
Yeah, we're going to meet in this room and do some experiments, kind of like you guys were suggesting.
단데 공차, 단데 바리단 대화 예부터 아니야. 나버서 여기 삼자 나만나 나만 대조 시시하네. 다지 거버든데 지금.
So as you leave, I want you to think about why are they so different.
쟤네 내가 페베갑라. 아니 페블람나 공부해야 돼. 페블람도 실라시베갑라 공부하신 되겠죠. 공부해야 돼. 지진이 부대. 공안 찍고 시간을 중시하고 지진이. 봐. 셉트 잠도 마세 공안 찍지게 셉트 윈바. 안데 그 원남 민다 가르친 충분히 시간 공부하시고 그랬어.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
다가이 도지세.